There's a kind of intelligence out there that you just can't measure with a test. It really has nothing to do with books and everything to do with what you see, what you notice, and how you understand the world. And yeah, the people around you. Today, we're going to dive into what's called high observational intelligence. So let me just ask you this straight up. Are you that person who walks into a room and you just feel the vibe? You spot that tiny shift in a friend's posture, or you're the one who notices the single picture on the wall that's just a little bit crooked. If you're nodding along right now, well, you are in exactly the right place. You've probably been told your whole life that you're just very detail-oriented. But what if that label doesn't even begin to cover it? What if what you're experiencing is actually something much, much deeper? Yeah, that's the go-to label, right? Detail-oriented. And look, it's a handy description, but it totally falls short. It's kind of like calling a world-class chef someone who's just good at following recipes. You could completely miss the art, the intuition, all the magic that's happening behind the scenes. Okay, so here's the real difference. Being detail-oriented, that's about seeing the what. You notice the specific facts, the individual pieces. Think of it like spotting a typo in an email. But observational intelligence, oh, that's about understanding the why. You don't just see the pieces, you see how they all connect to form the entire picture. You're not just seeing the data, you're seeing the whole story unfold. So let's give this ability the name it deserves and really break down what it all means. All right, here we go. Here's the official definition. It's the ability to accurately perceive and, this is the key part, interpret. It's a two-step process, you see. First, you notice all the subtle stuff, the social cues, the little details in the room, the unspoken dynamics, and then you connect the dots to figure out the real meaning behind it all. A huge piece of this puzzle is something psychologists call interpersonal sensitivity. Just think of it like your own personal social radar. It's this heightened awareness that helps you tune into the feelings, the thoughts, and even the intentions of other people, even when they're actively trying to hide them. It is absolutely a secret weapon for understanding people. And how do you do it? Well, you do it by reading microbehaviors. We're talking about those tiny split-second tells that just give the whole game away. A super fast frown, a jaw that clenches for just a moment, a slight tap of the fingers. These are things people don't even know they're doing, but they broadcast their true emotions. And if you have high observational intelligence, you're an expert at catching them. At the end of the day, it really just comes down to this. You have the ability to read a room before anyone even says a single word. It's that almost Sherlock Holmes-like sense you get when you walk into a meeting or a party, like an instant download of the mood, the power dynamics, and all the hidden tensions bubbling just under the surface. So, now that we kind of get what it is, the big question is, do you have it? We're about to walk through the 7 key signs of high observational intelligence. And as we go through them, just see how many of these really feel familiar to you. You ready? Let's dive into the 7 signs. All right, let's break these down one by one. Number 1, you read microbehaviors. You catch that quick little frown or that subtle shift in posture that we were just talking about. Next up, number 2, you can sense changes in tone. You just know that it's not always what people say, but how they say it that tells you everything you need to know. 3, you notice shifts in your environment. You're the one who's going to be the first to spot the new painting on the wall, or that one book that's out of place on the shelf. Number 4, you can gauge group dynamics, like instantly. You walk into a room and you can just figure out who the unofficial leader is, who's trying to get approval, and maybe who's feeling a little left out. 5, you're great at detecting inconsistencies. Your internal BS meter just goes off when someone's story doesn't quite line up with their body language or the facts you know. 6, you anticipate people's needs. You're the friend who's already grabbing a glass of water for someone before they even realize they're thirsty. And finally, number 7, you remember the small details about people, the name of their childhood pet, a random story they told you months ago, and it makes them feel truly seen. So, just take a second. How many of those were you nodding along to? Listen, if you identified with several of those signs, then what you have is not just some quirky personality trait. It is a genuine strength. It's your observational superpower. And this superpower, it comes with some incredible real-world benefits. Because you can actually see what other people are feeling, you connect with this deep sense of empathy, which, is the foundation for any real connection. And because you remember those small details and you anticipate needs, you build stronger, more solid relationships, both in your personal life and at work. And hey, because you see the whole picture, not just the tiny pieces, you end up making way better, more informed decisions. All of this combines to create this powerful, fine-tuned intuition that you can actually trust. So the next time you feel like you're just the quiet observer in the corner of the room, I want you to remember this. You are engaged in a powerful form of data collection and analysis. What you have isn't a quirk, it is a distinct and incredibly valuable form of intelligence. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Your ability to see the world with this kind of clarity, it's a gift. You understand the unspoken language of humanity. So now that you can put a name to this power, the only question left is, how are you going to use it?